millions and millions and millions of Jews. Over 10 million Jews reject the Zionist idea. And it's an idea which is embraced by a very small minority of Jews. Before the Holocaust, I believe, it was maybe 200,000 Jews. 300,000. That's it. Jews of Europe did not listen. Zionists said, and the Holocaust reaffirmed it for them, if a Jew is going to live, the only place they could live is in the sovereign state of Israel. That's the only place where they could physically live, and it's also the only place that they could live a life of God. Because outside of Israel, Judaism is essentially diseased. You live in somebody else's country, disconnected from land, disconnected from your culture. Land outside, Jewish life outside of Israel is Holocaust. Is either death or what will soon be death. And there is rebirth. And the rebirth is Israel. Holocaust, rebirth. What Zionism has no language for, and this is if the Zionist conference was 100 years ago, for 100 years Zionism has no category for a Jewish life outside of Israel, which is also rebirth. And in fact, in North America, we have a competing narrative of rebirth. The Jews who left Europe and instead of going to Israel came here, posited that Jewish life is truly unsustainable in Europe, but it is also unsustainable in the Meshuggah neighborhood called the Middle East. The only place it will be sustainable is in the only non-nation state, democratic non-nation state being formed, i.e. America. Here, Judaism will thrive. Now, when Zionists see you, they can only see you in categories of Shoah. They have no category for a diaspora Jewry who doesn't want to move to Israel, not because they can't, and not simply because right now there's not enough anti-Semitism to make you uncomfortable, but because you have an alternative vision of where and how to create Jewish rebirth. Let's go a step back for a moment. Zionists believe that Israel is home. And if we're a people or a people/family, where should the family live? At home. It's very simple. This is the home. We're watching it for you. Come home. Live at home. And the notion is that a family should all live in the same home. Let's play with this idea for a few moments. A family should indeed live at home. But when the children are young. The notion that a family lives at home is only relevant when the children are little. In fact, no family has only one home. As your children grow older, if they would want, you want them to leave. At some point, it gets uncomfortable. Now, you don't have to be as obsessive as you are in America, where the whole essence of growing up is moving far away. There's nothing wrong with moving a block away. No, it's just fine. You don't need this huge distance. See you Thanksgiving. You know, if you're on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast. Like, I'm moving away. College, going far away. It's like, you know, Tel Aviv is far enough. You know, hour drive, that's my radius. But in fact, like, for example, I have 3 homes and a room in an apartment in Tel Aviv. My family has 3 homes and a room in Tel Aviv. it's not just because I'm paying a big part of the mortgages of my 2 married children's homes. That's not what makes it my home. What makes it my home is that when I'm there and I'm sitting in my children's house, I'm not in a stranger's house. And when I'm sitting on the couch, or I don't have to ask, can I eat an apple? I go there, I want a drink. I know where the milchiks and fleishiks dishes are. I know what I'm not a stranger there. But let's play with this analogy of a family with multiple homes. And part of my analogies are going to be very Israeli because we live so close to each other. I have the keys to my children's home, and they have a key to my home. Now, I have a key, but I never go uninvited. I don't go. That's not true. Almost never go uninvited. From time to time, if you really have, but you don't go uninvited. I have a key, but the purpose of the key is mostly in the event that they lose their key. And because I'm the protector of the key, I get to go there. I get some dividends. Paying the mortgage also helps, but I get some dividends. But you have to be very careful. Don't think that because you give, you get. That's a major, major mistake that parents make. Giving, you give because it's your responsibility and an expression of your love. It has nothing to do with what you're supposed to get. That's not, if you're looking for symmetry, then it's not your children who need therapy, it's you who need therapy. To look for delusion. They have a key to my home. They come uninvited. We kvetch about it, but secretly we love it. Hi, I'm home. When I go to their house, I eat an apple. If something's cooked, I don't eat it, because maybe they need it. I'll ask. Normally, of course you can eat it, Abba. But I don't take soup or meatballs. Maybe that's what she needed for tomorrow or for Shabbos. My children come to our house and go to the refrigerator. It could be for Thursday evening. What? And my wife goes, that was for Shabbos. Oh, Mommy. What? You're allowed. You're allowed. Did any of you have a discussion with your children when they left the house and you refurbished their room? What'd you do to my room? Well, you're not home. I need an exercise room. What did you do to my room? Where's my stuff? What's my room? What do you mean it's your room? You have another house. What constitutes your room? Yeah, it's my room. It's very interesting. There's a fascinating dynamic in this multiple home family. There's a fascinating etiquette about what you do and what you don't do. Symbols are critical. That's why every one of my kids likes to leave stuff in the house. They have a closet. So even if you redid it, there's a closet. There's a shelf. There's stuff that they haven't used in 5 years. It could be thrown out and they would never know. But if I would dare empty out their closet, in some sense, it's not my place anymore. If we would ever say, go home. No, that's not the etiquette. There's a symbolic discourse and way in which we create a multi-home family, in which we distribute rights, not so much rights, we distribute a sense of belonging to each other. Now there are limits. My children can't come into the house and move around the furniture.
Yeah.
They don't get to come into the house and take out a mortgage. You don't go to Israel and tell Israel what its borders should be. There are limits. One of the interesting things you don't do, what they do it a little more than us. We don't go into their house and say it smells But we don't go into my children's house and say, oh, it's so dirty. Why don't you clean up? What's the matter with you? You don't do that. It's your home, but it's not your primary residence. But it's still, I'm not a stranger. And part of what a family needs to do as children grow older is learn and develop the particular etiquette that works for them in their multiple homes. And by the way, they're not always the same. Some children do one thing, and other children do other things. So in our home, we designed it in such a way that the upstairs is my wife's and mine. We have our workout room, our bedroom, our workout room, and the study. One of my children never comes upstairs without calling, Abba, could I come upstairs? My other child walks into my bathroom unannounced. There's like each, what's the etiquette? To build a family is also to know that you don't have the same rules for everybody. Because there's a reason why one child is doing one thing and another child is doing another. And if you would impose on one child one rule, the symbols that this child is looking for aren't identical. They're trying to, they need a certain sense you never have consistent rules for every child because not everybody's the same. That's part of what happens when you have a family. Israelis believe that you're children and they're the parents. And therefore, your proper place is at home. If you're in trouble, come home. That's what Israel did in France. The Prime Minister of Israel, in front of the Prime Minister of France, and the Prime Minister of France declares that France is not France without Jews. And the Prime Minister says, that's really moving. Ladies and gentlemen, he says, come home in front of the Prime Minister of France. You're in trouble? Come home. When people wondered why Netanyahu did not condemn Charlottesville, they didn't understand. Netanyahu's not supposed to condemn Charlottesville. Charlottesville is what you're supposed to have. The fact that you don't have many Charlottesvilles is just a miracle and an accident of time which will soon pass. When you have a Charlottesville, I'm not supposed to condemn it. I'm just supposed to say to you, come home. But when you have adult children, you don't come home. You don't come running home to mommy and Abba when you're in trouble. You have your own home. You're building that home. One of the difficulties with the Kotel agreements, or the repeal of the Kotel agreement, is that Israelis, by seeing you as children, say, you want to talk about the Kotel, move home. When the Kotel for North American Jews was a symbolic expression of the fact that you see me. It's my closet. It's my shelf. It's that I have a key and I could come here and worship in the ways that I feel comfortable. But if I don't see you as rebirth, if I don't see you as an adult, I don't have any need to create a more symbolic, nuanced, multi-home family. I could live under the old notion, I'm the parent and you're the child. Now, what happens when the child grows up? It can even get more complicated. What happens when neither of us agree who's the parent? We don't even agree who the parent is. Maybe you're the parent and we're the child. I'm not bothered by the fact that Israelis believe that they're the parent. Nor, by the way, would I be bothered if you thought you're the parent. I'd love a competition in the Jewish world. Who's the more mature adult? Let there be a competition. Let it be proven. Who's the more mature adult? who's caring, who's being more responsive, all of the above. It will only lead to greatness in Jewish life. That's a good competition. Israelis believe that they are the protectors of the home, but they don't have a category for an adult family and a mature family. It's not that Israelis don't care about you. When the kotel occurs, it's not that they don't care. It's not that they don't see you. It's just they don't see you the way you see yourself. And in a very deep way, they cannot see you fully the way you see yourself. One of the essential features of Zionism is the belief that the best place in the world for Jews to live is Israel. That Israel as home is not the same as other homes. This is an ancestral home. This is the safest home. This is the best home. If Israelis could only see world Jewry by accepting parity, Israelis will never do so. One of the great educational challenges that we're facing, and it's now an integral part of what I and my team and we're going to be working on for many, many years, is how do we help Israelis shift from a notion of a single family home to a multi-family home with adult children, and to understand the responsibilities that entails. How do we speak about you? Israelis love to talk about you. They talk about you all the time. I don't know if you know that. They talk about you all the time. About two things. Whenever you experience anti-Semitism, and whenever there's a statistic on internet. Both are front page news in Israeli newspapers. Every swastika, every burp about a swastika, every counting, front page news. Anti-Semitism in Canada increased by 75%. Canada? Canada? That was front. I'm telling you, it was a 2-minute news item. Nowhere did they say 75% of what. It was just increased by 75%. From what? That doesn't matter. Could it be from 4? What was the anti-Semitism? Was it an event of any Jew being beaten? Or was it a tombstone being knocked down? So last year we had 5, and this year we have what? 75%. Whatever it is.
More than 5.
Right? 7. Is that a Canadian accent I heard? No, I thought I heard a little Canadian accent. 7! Oh my God, we had 7 tombstones. Gotta tell you, when you're in Canada, you should just know, I wear a kippah all over except for in Europe. There's no place that I feel more comfortable wearing a kippah than in Toronto. 75! But I'm telling you, I'm sitting there, and you have to realize, Iraq, Syria, terror, Gaza, the opening news, 2.5 minutes, is 75% increase in anti-Semitism in Canada. That's what they talk about. They talk about the big Holocaust and the small Holocaust. The big Holocaust will occur soon, and the small Holocaust is assimilation. The Minister of Diaspora Affairs in Israel realized or started to feel that there was a diminishing of Israelis' concern for you. So they bought prime time space and put forth a 2-part documentary about North American Jewry to educate Israelis about North American Jewry. There were 4 features in this 2-hour documentary. The first feature was filming Jewish schools that had been abandoned. So you had about 20 minutes of walking through cavernous, empty hallways in shuttered Jewish day schools. Are there any shuttered Jewish day schools in this area? Yes. The second was synagogues that were converted to churches.
Yeah, that we got.
Now we also, by the way, have lots of churches where synagogues are running in a lot of churches. But we have some of those. We do. The third, for about 20 minutes, was filming the story of West Side Judea in Manhattan, which was closing down. Obviously not because of Amazon and no bookstores are open. That's not the reason. It's because Jews aren't consumers of Judaism. And the fourth, and this was the longest segment, is filming Jews in Miami, Israelis in Miami and in Palo Alto, whose children were marrying non-Jews. This is Israelis, you gotta start caring more about world Jewry. They care about you as little children who need their help. So when you come to ask and say, for example, the Kotel, we need a place at the Kotel for liberal Jews. If you're a child, come home and then I'll talk to you. Or, if outside of Israel there is no viable Judaism, why should I create a symbolic space for a Judaism that's not viable, that's dying anyway? And so, in Israel, we have a whole society that cares deeply. But they're caring deeply